Coach Rose Peterson. I'm a certified personal trainer, both in person and online, and a certified nutrition coach. I help moms locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all over the world shed the weight holding them back from becoming their most energetic and authentic version of themselves so they can go after their deepest desires alongside of motherhood. You can find me at fitandconfidentmom.com. Hey, you guys, Coach Rose here, and I have an exciting interview for you today. I have my client Rudy, who has been kicking butt the last 16 weeks with me, and I really want you guys to hear his story because someone out there might need to hear this message. If you've been thinking about doing something, thinking about making a change, and just not sure where to go or what direction to go in, you've got to listen to Rudy and his story and where he started and where he is now. So Rudy, can you let our audience know a little bit about you, like your age, what you do, and like just kind of give them a little bit of background. That way they kind of know what your life is like.
Yeah, of course. So I'm a young 47, put it to that way. I'm a tall 5'6.5". No, I'm totally joking, but I am. So basically, I've been in hospitality for the last, I would say, better part of 15 years. And throughout that last like 8 to 9 years, I was doing personal training. And throughout that time, I just couldn't find a right, how would I put it, way of eating that would fit my needs. And throughout that time, I ended up getting a herniated disc, deadlifting of all things. Why? Because I didn't listen to my body. Torn AC, high grade torn ACL, and everything I did just exasperated the swellingness and everything else. And yeah, so basically just throughout the years, just couldn't find anything that worked. And being a personal trainer at the time and also in hospitality, it was just a lot to take in, and really could never focus on myself, which was the biggest issue when I should have been. So, and that's kind of like a snowball, not a snowball. I'd say it's like a overall scope of what I've been going through.
Yeah. So you being a trainer in hospitality industry, and working on your own goals in Jiu Jitsu, you were hard on your body, but you were also trying to find a nutritional solution that you knew that if you got trimmer, got into a healthy eating lifestyle that worked for you, you would overall feel better in work, in your sport, and just in life in general, correct?
Correct. Yeah. For the better part, I'd say for 10, almost a little over 10 years. If you can think of it, I've done it. I did keto, I did paleo, I did high carb, I did low carb, I did zone diet, I did Atkins, and none of it seemed to work. None of it. And it's just a lack of consistency, maybe, or just not, just not really being determined enough, or goal set it enough to give it like 6 weeks, and all of a sudden, it didn't work, or then I get overwhelmed with work, and then just a pile of things just started coming on that I felt like the world was caving in, and I just said, screw it, I'm just gonna go back to my old habits. But I've pretty much done every single possible eating habit that you could think of, and I've done it. And that's the crazy part. When I started with Rose, I was like, whoa, yeah, I've heard about precision nutrition. I also got certified in it as well too. But again, like I just didn't have the time for it, and I just wanted to tell someone, be like, hey, this is what you need to do. I'm like, okay, cool, got it, done. And that's all I need to be told. It was just, hey, you already do this. But for myself, it just wasn't really a priority to taking care of me. I was always focused on taking care of everybody else, like my clients, and work and jiu-jitsu and everything else. I just really didn't put more time and focus on me, which was the biggest issue.
I think a lot of people can resonate with that we do as people, and as you're in the personal training industry, so you care about helping others. And so we have this innate caretaker where we're taking care of our clients, taking care of work, and then we put ourselves last on the back burner. I think a lot of people can resonate with that. And also, like, to say that you got to a point where you're a smart guy and you knew that I really want somebody to take this off my plate. Like, I need help, and I want someone to kind of give the structure, even though you know what to do and you could probably make some changes on your own. Before you hired me, what do you feel like, what did you need the most help with?
It's funny you say that, because I knew exactly what to do. I knew how to do it, and I knew what to what to eat. And I just couldn't do it, and I was like, you know what? I need support. I need help. And that's when I, buckled down and said, I really do need help. And for the better part of 15 years, I've been struggling with weight, being at my height and weighing in my heaviest was 196, 198, and looking like a big old, like that. Like it didn't feel good. And put it this way, I had to make a change because my back was killing me, my knees were killing me. Having that extra added weight puts a lot of pressure, especially in jiu-jitsu and especially when you're lifting or just walking around in general. And in being in hospitality, always walking on hardwood floors, it just took a beating on me. And at the point, I just broke down. And to be completely transparent, I was at a place in a bad place where I was like, I really don't know what to do, And then I came across Jenna, and Jenna said, hey, I was like, let me talk. Like, yes, introduce me. Let me talk to her, and I did. And man, like the way Rose explained everything to me, and interacting with her and her guidance, everything else was a huge, huge success and huge help. And quite honestly, I couldn't have done it without you, Rose. So,
Ah,
going through those steps, it made me realize, hey, it is possible. Hey, I can do it. And now having the guidance and the structure to say, hey, it's okay, Rudy. If you fall off, not a big deal, but you know how to get back on it again. And that's what I needed, was like a complete actual reset. And it couldn't be more perfect timing. In February, I decided to stop training people. And I just need to take a step back and just focus on me. And that's when I started with Rose back in February. And it was the best decision I ever made.
oh, well, thank you. So I think a lot of people can resonate with what you shared, which if you've ever felt like that, type in the comments and just let us know that you're here and you feel that way, where we do sometimes get to the point where we're overwhelmed and we don't know what direction to go in. And you just need a hand to say, like, here, I got you. These are the steps. It's okay wherever you're at. We're going to get you to your goal. So talk to me about what were your top. Oh, and then the other thing you mentioned really quick before I ask about your goals is I think sometimes we think about how we want to lose weight just for maybe we don't like the scale number or we just don't like our size at the time. But you were also suffering from physical ailments from you knew standing all day long, the extra weight was hard on your back, your knees, your body. So I just wanted to point that out again that there's people out there that probably resonate with that feeling that it's not really about the scale number. It's about how you feel in your body and how taking some weight off, even a small amount of weight is just a relief. So I'm just saying that for people who are watching to say that like maybe they think that they don't have a lot of weight to lose or they're happy in their size, but just even if they think about maybe all the physical ailments that could be better if you worked on your health just a little bit. So tell me, describe like what were your one or two top goals when you started coaching with me? Like what were you really wanting to work on?
Well, first and foremost, being 47, I wanted to be able to move around and crush the souls of the people I train with in jiu-jitsu class that are like half my age. And I was like, I want to do that, God. But again, being overweight, it was hard to move around that, quickly and being that agile. But also to take the weight off. I mean, put it in perspective, I have a herniated disc, and so what that means is that the jelly out of the disc comes out and down. So mine was a 7 millimeter extrusion. So that's pretty big. So it's about the size of like my pinky, like just a little bit like that, that
Okay.
goes out and down, like my pinky nail. And thankfully, I have a large spinal canal, so it wasn't really hitting the nerve, but I still feel the pressure of it.
Okay.
And with that added weight, it was just putting pressure on that herniation, and also having a high grade 2-3 ACL strain.
Mm,
That put a lot of pressure on as well too. So now that I've lost almost 18 pounds, 19 pounds, a huge world of difference. I feel absolutely huge world of difference. My back doesn't bug me as much anymore. My knee doesn't bug me as much anymore. I'm moving more agile. I'm moving more, quickly against smaller and bigger opponents, and being able to keep up, and not being able to gas out like, "Ah, okay, I'm done. Oh Jesus Christ!" But now I'm at a point to where my cardio is improved. Like overall, everything's just gotten better. My energy spikes have been improved. My stamina, my endurance, my overall well-being, my happiness. Just having an overwhelming feeling of just being happy. And I haven't felt like that since when I was like in my early 20s, probably. Because when I moved to Vegas, I was 28, and being in hospitality, that's all you do is go, 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 go. You're always eating quickly on the floor. and have to get back
Mm-hmm.
on the floor, off and on the floor, and then eating super quick and building those habits where really bad habits, eating late when you get off work, eating quickly and eating food that really is not really good for you. And that overall doing that for almost 10, 15 years, just finally caught up to me.
I love that you described exactly what your hospitality work is like, because I think a lot of people can resonate with that. And in any industry where there's, we live in hustle culture right now where we don't take the time to eat, and where we can feel overwhelmed and tired and not know where to start. Like we want to make a change, but we're not sure how to figure that out with our work and training and other goals in life. So thank you so much for sharing that it's not just the weight loss that you experienced. And also have to point out, you did say that even the guys in the gym noticed that you were moving faster on the mat and that you were crushing it in the gym. So other people noticed it too.
Yeah, other people notice it for sure.
And also creating like unwanted eating habits over the years. I think a lot of people can resonate with that too, where it was just kind of a necessity need to get through the day. And so yeah, bridging into that, what do you feel like? You said your nutrition habits are better. You're feeling overall happier, which is awesome. What would you like more people to know about working with me that you wish more people would know? Like, what did this program, how is it different than what you thought it was going to be?
Well, obviously, I'm one of your biggest cheerleaders because I can't stop raving about you. And, I always tell my friends and try to introduce you to as many people as I can, just because I want them to experience what I experienced and what I went through. Starting from day one, eating slowly, drinking more water, which I wasn't doing. And again, trying to get out of the habit of eating quickly, picking up new habits, getting fresh sunlight in the morning, early in the morning. Doing my biggest issue was mobility, and now I'm doing yoga 3 days a week. And I also wanted to get back to reading again. And I haven't done that in almost 10 years. And just within the last, since I started with you in the last 8 weeks, I started reading 3 or 4 times a day. Again, doing things for me, which I wasn't doing before. And when I first started with you, I was like, oh, I've had nutritional coaches who are like, okay, we're gonna do this. All right, how'd you feel this? Blah, blah, blah. It was always like, why didn't you eat this enough? And I'm like, dude, I got enough going on in my life. I don't need to get scolded or anything like that. And I don't know what I was going into, but the people, when I talked to Jenna, she just spoke super highly of you, and everyone loves Jenna. And if I'll take her word on anything. And when she told me like how your coaching style was, I was like, I'll try it and see what give it a shot. And being a guy, you're like, oh, I'm too tough for this. I don't need it. Meh, meh, meh. For me, I'm not scared to ask for help. Especially if I need it and in a place to where I know I can feel better. And after going through all that last 16 weeks with you, has been amazing. I highly recommend everybody should do it. At least try it. What's the worst going to happen? You pick up great habits. Oh, okay, great. Nothing
Yeah.
bad nothing bad is going to come out of this. And I want everybody to know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. You just got to invest more into yourself, if anything else. I see people out there spending money on shoes and clothing and this and that. I'm like, well, no one's ever spending money on themselves. And
It's true.
and investing into yourself is one of the biggest investments you can do. And if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And as a coach myself, even coaches need coaching. And, that came to a point where it's like, I need help. And here we are.
I love how you listed like non-food and fitness related accomplishments of reading more and getting outside and getting sunlight in. And of course, like water is also nutrition accomplishment. But I just wanted to point that out into saying that for me, I always feel like I am here to support my clients and their goals. It's not my agenda, it's their agenda. And so I'm never going to I always say, I'm never going to red pen you and be like, why didn't you do this right? So that's always my point of view as a coach, is that I'm your guide. And maybe there's more things you want to change in your life that has nothing to do with food or fitness. And so I know some of the goals that you set were, they're reading more, and I supported and follow up with you about that. And then I'd be like, what else do you want to work on? And you're like, well, I want to work on not cussing as much. And like, all right, we'll make
I've gotten better at that.
We'll make that a goal. So I think it's cool that you pointed out that it's someone who I'm here to help support my clients with whatever goal they have to improve their lifestyle and create a lifestyle. And like, you know, you mentioned healthy habits and a lot of new habits that you created. So just this is for pretty much anyone listening. Did it ever feel overwhelming? Like, you mentioned a lot of changes. Like, did it feel overwhelming to make all these changes in your life?
It was the way you put it, the way you structured it out. It seemed like a lot in the beginning, but the way you structured it out, it seemed it was very attainable, if that makes sense. You
Mm-hmm.
know, every week we focused on something. And as long as you focus on it and know that the end goal is not, it's for you, you know, I mean, it's for the individual, me. And realizing that and knowing it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start healthy habits. And it has nothing to do with food. You know, it has to do with more of do what makes do what makes me happy and what I enjoy doing. And once I figured that out, I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm still focusing on food, but focusing on more of a macro level as opposed to a micro level, and doing the things that I, you know, love doing. And I love doing jujitsu. I love being able to wake up in the morning and read for 15 minutes outside while soaking up sunlight. Taking my dogs for a walk when I used to hate walking. I hated walking my dogs, but now I enjoy it. I love walking. It just because I walk so much at work, you know, walking 3 to 5 miles at work every single night, and the last thing I want to do is walk more. But now
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not in hospitality anymore, I'm walking the dogs. I'm loving it. I have my shirt off, saying hi to the neighbors. Hey, how's it going? And you know, enjoying this little simplicities of life that you seem to forget. And I think that's what's, you know, realizing that going through this program with you made me realize that. And yeah, and now I'm like, I'm like, you know, the happy-go-lucky neighbor now, and you know, saying hi to everybody, and do you need, well, helping a little lady across the street, you know, type of deal. But I always would have done that. But yeah, but still, you know,
Yeah,
if that makes
I'm
sense.
glad that you shared that in that perspective, because I think some people who are maybe thinking about starting a plan, or they want to do a program or get coaching, they feel like they have to wait for a perfect time in life because, oh, I got to make all these changes and I got to wait for the right time when things slow down to be able to make all those changes. So I like that you said that it was approachable and doable, and that now you feel like all these habits have enhanced your life. They don't feel like, oh, I have to do all these things to stay healthy. Now you're like actually enjoying all these things that, so it's a transformation mindset shift, right, from beginning to end.
Mm.
So my last two questions for you is like, one, what was your favorite part about coaching with me? And then the last part is, what would you say to someone thinking about getting coaching with me?
I'd say my favorite part about you was that I didn't think any of this was going to be attainable, but you were able to turn that around and make it attainable. And not only make it attainable, it was also sustainable as well too. And that was my favorite part of it, you know, just because the way you structured it, the way you talked about it, the way you guided me through it, and being able to, you know, hey, it's going to be okay. If you don't do it this day, okay, cool, let's try it that next day. What can we do to make things more attainable, easier, or more structurally balanced or efficient, that will make your not make this not more of a chore, but make this more of something that you really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we did, you know, certain hacks that I couldn't, as you know, for just great example, you know, I would have school, I work Friday, and then I have school from 9:30 to 2:30, and at 2:30 I go directly to just to work. And I don't have time to eat. So then you came up with a great, or someone of your clients came up with a great hack to where you pre-order Chipotle, which is right on the way. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. You know, it's just little
Mm-hmm.
things like little knacks like that have helped me, you know, to this day. Not only that, but there are other, you know, hacks as well. And what's the other question? I'm sorry.
What would you say to someone who's possibly thinking about working with me or signing up for coaching?
I would say talk to her, and if you want me there, I will give you my testimonial as well. Just because it's not just only losing weight; it's losing weight with added benefits to it. Meaning you'll learn more about yourself that you never thought you would. You'll find out areas of opportunity that you never thought you could attain when you always wanted to, but you always had that idea in the back of your head where it's like, you know what, I was thinking about doing this, but I don't know. Like really, like just vomit it out to Rose, and she'll help you get there. And that's one of the biggest things that I've always wanted to do. When I first started with her, it was more about, what do you want to do this week? Okay, well, I want to try focusing on this. Okay, cool. And throughout that time, I even wanted to learn how to play piano. I still haven't got to that yet, but I will. But just now I'm working out every day, like Monday through Friday. I work out. I do Jiu Jitsu 4 to 5 times a week. I do yoga 3 times a week. Just to put things in perspective. And when I first started, I wasn't working out at all. And why? Because I hated working out, because I felt like when I went to Jiu Jitsu, I was always exhausted. And I didn't want to work out. But to base things out, I started working out Monday through Friday, doing Jiu Jitsu 4 or 5 times a week, reading every single day, drinking my water, going out for walks, getting fresh sunlight, doing yoga. God, I mean, what else? Because there's so much more out there that I've started doing that I never thought I could do. And that's the beauty part about it, is that you're able to do it, not realizing when you first start, it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm able to do it. No, you're doing it. And I'm a
Yeah.
great example of it right now. I'm doing it. And, it's just a matter of just put your toes in the water and just jump in. Screw it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing and coming on and just sharing your story and inspiring others that if you have a goal that seems really big or you feel overwhelmed by it, it's okay to ask for help. And actually getting help and coaching is going to help you get to that place where all of a sudden you turn around, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all these things that I thought was really overwhelming. But now not only did I accomplish a lot in a short amount of time, like I'm so excited to see what else I can accomplish in the future. And like you saying it now, you've got a lot of goals. And now that you feel optimistic about that, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely, there's a lot more goals that I want to attain. And I definitely, have the mindset and a different attitude about it now at the same time. Trying to get down to my goal weight. Of course, I talked about it where I'm at that sticking point. But again, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not getting discouraged. And I think that's the biggest issue, is when people go into a program and they don't start seeing results, they're like, and they get discouraged. You have to trust the process. And just like with anything, when you start something, nothing's ever easy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always these plans out there that they'll say, oh, try the 16-week program and you'll lose 20 pounds. Okay, cool. Yeah, you lose 20 pounds, you follow a strict diet and you follow a strict program, and then all of a sudden within a month you're at the weight back on it. I think everyone
Mm-hmm.
out there is always want that quick fix. And I get it. That's cool. But that quick fix is just, again, a quick fix. It's not a long-term fix. And I think that's where people lose sight of that, is, you want something that's sustainable, a lifelong sustainability that you can do every single day. And having those short-term goals that you see out there, and that's what it really irritates me when people do those 16-week challenges, 8-week challenges, and everything else, that they'll lose the weight. I've done it myself with other people, and I was like, man, this is not good. And if you're thinking about doing something, I just say talk to you first. I did the whole keto thing, and I did that for almost a year. And I'll give you how I went through it. I got down to 172 and I was miserable, absolutely miserable. I had zero energy, and to put things like transparent, my gum line started receding, and I was like, what is going on here? Like I felt like absolute crap, and it just, everything is, I'll put it this way, every diet out there, every eating style that you're going to do is going to have some, I think, some bad negative effects to it. And you either just drop off completely and just start gorging yourself. But you have to have that mindset when you go into something. You have to say, hey, cool, I want to be successful. I want to get to this weight. Even if I don't get to the weight that I want to get to, I got to still remain consistent. And consistency is key. And that's the best beauty part about that, is that you Rose are able to make it consistent with us, and support us and say, hey, it's going to be okay. Don't get discouraged. It'll be fine. Let's try to focus on something. And that's the beauty part about it, is that this is why I'm here, and sharing my story with everybody else. Hopefully they understand and get it. Don't go for the quick fix. It never works out, ever.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you ended on that note, because I say that all the time when people sharing with me what they're trying out and whether it's working or not working. I say, do you feel like you can eat this way for the rest of your life? I mean, that should be a good indicator on whether this is working or not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that about, some of these quick fix promises, whether they're plans or supplements, or it's like, ask yourself, can you do this forever? And so if not, then that might not be worth putting your time towards. So yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. But thank you so much, Rudy, for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your story, so that other people out there can be inspired to make a change, and one that's sustainable. And if there's anybody out there possibly looking for help with their weight loss, fitness, or performance goals, just drop results in the comments. If you want results like Rudy, we'll get on a quick DM chat to see if I could possibly help. So until next time, this is Coach Rose rooting for you to say that it's all about me in 2023. Me as in you. Go out there and make it happen. Have a good day.